I'm not a rock crawler. I'm used to hunting views, not obstacles. So when I decided to come out to Easter Jeep Safari in Moab with my buddy Lance, we wanted to try it. And what we found was a trail called MASHER that had a little bit of everything, but a lot of a few things.
Easy.
What? Hi, I'm Will from Venture to Rome, and I am here in Moab, Utah during Easter Jeep Safari with my buddy Lance because we're going to do some rock crawling. Now, I am not a rock crawler. I've never really gotten into that, but as the years have gone by, I've been really curious about it. So I figured this would be a great opportunity to come down to Easter Jeep Safari in Moab, Utah to kind of learn more about rock crawling. So we're here, we're gonna do a trail today. We were at breakfast, we were kind of looking at what trails to do, and EJS has this really great magazine you kind of read through and choose your trail. And we found one called MASHER. We're not experienced rock crawlers, but we're experienced drivers. We've done rock crawling as part of other trails. And this one's rated a 7 out of 10, so we think we'll be challenged. Maybe we'll be challenged so much that we'll turn around. I don't know. We're gonna see when we get up there. Also, it looks like, at least it says on the pamphlet description, that it has some really amazing views of like Arches National Park. And to me, that just sounds awesome. So come along as we discover rock crawling together in this really beautiful place on this hopefully really awesome trail, and just see what happens. As Lance and I started out, we both opened up Onyx Off-Road since MASHER was already in there. All we had to do was follow the little green line to the trailhead.
Man, I just switched to Onyx, like 3D map follower or whatever you want to call this. It's super cool.
One of the best parts of choosing MASHER as our trail for the day was that we got to take Gemini Bridges Road to get there. This road is right off the highway and drops you immediately down into some classic Moab landscapes with red rock, slick rock, hoodoos, and monoliths everywhere you turn your head. The weather was threatening precipitation all around us, but our road kept us right in the sunshine as we headed toward what I would come to understand as the toughest trail I'd ever done in my life. So we're driving along what's called Gemini Bridges Road. So Gemini Bridges is a pretty well-known, pretty easy trail. It's just really scenic. So, you know, there's this kind of vibe around the harder trails or the better trails, or like, you know, you're a better Jeeper or something, or off-roader if you go on really, really hard trails. And look, there's some truth to that because the hard trails are really fun and you want to challenge yourself, but like, there is nothing wrong with driving through a trail like this and just appreciating what's around you, because it's world class out here. I mean, this trail in particular is so easy to get to, and it shows you some of just like the most wonderful rock structures that Moab has to offer. So anyway, I can't wait to see where we're going to MASHER, but the road to get there has been pretty beautiful.
So check the sign at this intersection. We might go right here. Why am I so excited?
Because you're in Moab.
Correct answer. My exhaust was in normal mode.
Doesn't sound nearly as cool, man.
And so the MASHER carnage begins.
All right, well, we came to our first obstacle here, and it's just basically, I don't know, a rock wall to climb up. Doesn't look too bad, but it looks a lot of fun. So here we go, let's get into it. Okay, here we go. We're gonna try this. And I'm not totally sure how it's gonna go. So we're at 16 degrees. I think my other tire's about to catch. Yeah, okay, I'm in. going a little bit, but it wasn't too bad. We did it. Yes! Let's go! Okay, 392 had no problem coming up that. And we can see the tire tracks here. But Lance, you're wider. Yeah. And this hole right there didn't feel super great to me. But you think because you're wider, you might catch...
I wanted to be
Might catch
here,
that? Yeah.
But I don't know where that's going to put me here.
Well, if you aim for this, you're going to catch your driver at some point.
Yeah.
Do you want me to spot you into so you get your passenger on this piece?
I've got the camera. I'm going to see what I can do.
Oh, camera, yeah. Forgot you got your high tech. Yep. Hey, how'd that feel?
That's amazing. I didn't think I'd be able to do that.
Yeah, you were stuffed on your back passenger.
Nothing rubs.
Yeah, but you hit a little on your front skid, but just a little kiss.
Right. That's what we're doing. Awesome.
Dude, I feel like I was born to do this.
It's fun because it's so new to me.
I love the geometry of it all.
It makes perfect sense for you.
With our first taste of the trail complete, Lance and I were now hungry for more. We were dealing with both a sense of excitement about the trail ahead and maybe even a little shame that we both have these incredible machines to drive and we haven't really used them to their potential yet. Something that Metal Masher would start to remedy as we got further into the trail. Once you start the trail in earnest, you have 3 levels of obstacles to drive. Level 1 is just the rocky base of the trail taking you from one place to another. Level 2 is smaller but fun obstacles that don't challenge the rigs much but are really fun to drive. And level 3 are the obstacles we had to get out and think about before attempting to drive.
Are you going that fast in 4 low?
The 392 has a higher geared transfer case.
I'm like, oh, my 4 low sounds a little more whiny than yesterday. I have my rear lock around.
Oh, there you go. You sound a little more whiny than yesterday, too. Just kidding.
After a few miles on Metal Masher, Lance and I were feeling warmed up and ready to tackle a bigger challenge. And when we arrived at what's called the Big Ledge, we got exactly what we asked for, and then some.
Oh, yeah, I remember this one from videos. I saw a Tundra try this, just tore it up.
We have seen this one on YouTube and read about it and seen pictures of it, and it is very intimidating. This is buggy territory. In fact, you can kind of tell who's done what based on the tire tracks. Like buggy track, those are buggy tracks.
Buggy trail.
Uh-huh.
Let me go stand in this hole for you.
With I don't know what, that's like a 90-degree approach angle right there.
Yeah.
You're right up.
Pure buggy track, so clearly...
That's the kind of stuff that flips Jeeps if you're not careful. So we're looking at this and we're thinking there's no shame in not doing like the hardest obstacle. So I think what we're gonna do instead is try this line, which is still, it's not like a easy obstacle. It's not this huge hole in the ground, but I think that this will still be fun, challenging, maybe a little pucker. So let's give it a run and find out. All right, here we go. Whew. I mean, it's like the bypass, but it still looks like quite the rock here. Here we go. Ooh. God, that feels so crazy. Now I'm through. Oh my god, that was so awesome. Yes. Woo. Lance, being Lance, wanted at least to poke his nose in the harder part of the obstacle just to see what it felt like. You're gonna hit. It's okay to know when you're out of your league, so Lance decided to take the bypass as well. But we both have an eye on this rock wall for the next time we come back to Moab with a little more experience under our belts. This is an example of how what seems intimidating at first can become almost routine. Lance had zero issues getting up the bypass, which made me realize that I needed to get out of my own head and just start letting the Jeep do its thing on the trail.
Do you want to try one of these over here?
This one looks doable.
Immediately following the big ledge was a stair-step climb. These climbs are intimidating to look out below, but the slick rock, which is made of petrified sand, is kind of like Velcro for your tires, which belies the name slick rock, a name given to these surfaces by early settlers who had wagons on metal wheels that could not find traction. That said, when it rains, slick rock lives up to its name no matter what kind of tires you have. For us though, the trail was dry, which made for lots of easy traction on the climbs. So I'm not sure how far along this trail we are because I can't honestly remember how long it is. I should pull up Onyx and look at where we are on the map. I've just been having so much fun. And there's some more kind of obstacles over here. Maybe we'll try to do some of them because like we're gaining a little confidence, which I know is dangerous. But I don't know. Maybe we can get up these things. Let's see. Our next obstacle is called the Ledge Play Area. So naturally, we decided to stop and play.
Nope.
However, as much as we wanted to take the big kids route,
No.
our approach angles weren't good enough to get up the ledges.
Now up, back out.
So we kept moving down to the kiddie ledges until we finally got traction.
Get awesome, isn't it? All right, easy, easy. What? Nothing.
Lance, being Lance, wanted to give the big kids ledge a shot too.
Little scrapage.
But he suffered the same fate as me and moved down to a more manageable approach.
No, it's your skid plate underneath. Just like a hole right there is the problem. Maybe right here you could catch. If you got your driver way over here, because there's less of a hole. No, not even close. That was a bad idea. Maybe just scoot over more. There you go. Hey man, you were sky high there. I could see your undercarriage.
So Lance, one of the things that feels good about being Moab right now is that I can see everyone else's midlife crisis rolling around as well.
We were now deep into Metal Masher, traversing ever so slightly toward a rocky cliff to our right, with the LaSalle mountain range in the distance watching over our shenanigans. This trail throws so many small and medium obstacles at you constantly that after a while, things that would seem like an obstacle on an overlanding trail felt like speed bumps on our way to something bigger.
The only thing better would be Taggart with us.
I agree, man. I've been really missing that guy today, and I know he would love this.
Of course, sometimes we'd come across what looked like a little drop from above, but what was actually something we needed to take seriously. This drop put my Jeep at a 30-degree pitch, which was just enough to tempt Lance into taking the smaller of the two drops.
We have this whole area to ourselves. Not supposed to happen this way, especially during Easter Jeep Safari.
We haven't seen anybody.
We couldn't find a better.
It's true that the trail gods had smiled upon us this day, with no one else around, great weather, and a trail that was teaching us more about rock crawling at every turn. At this point, it was pure fun.
All right, so I'm starting to figure out why this rock crawling thing is so fun. I mean, the stuff that these rigs can do. And look, this is not a rock crawling rig. I built this to be a rock lander, or I'm building it to be a rock lander, and so this is just us having fun, kind of seeing what it's capable of. And you saw back there, there's spots that's like, nope, can't do it, don't have the approach angle, and others where yeah, it crawled right up. And man, it does make you pucker a little bit, but it is so fun. And you get to know your rig so much better when you do this stuff. Like, you know, when we're out overlanding, gosh, I'm not thinking about looking at the sky from the cab, you know, like I'm just thinking about finding a place to camp. And so to get to know the rig a little bit more doing these kinds of things will just make me better at everything else. And I'm having like the time of my life with Lance today. My only regret is that Chris isn't here to hang out with us and do this with us, but he will be soon. He will be soon.
Metal Masher was now snaking away from the rock cliffs and leading us toward some of the most fun obstacles of the day, and at least one spot that scared the crap out of me, but that would come later.
This is a little bit of a bad boy.
Yeah, look at that. Why do I just know how to do this? This is really weird.
Well, you're not a stranger to wheeling and off-roading, just not in such a concentrated way.
It's so funny when you start doing these trails like this, how quickly you recalibrate. It's like a big rock is relative, or an obstacle is relative. And once you start in on a trail this is probably a medium trail, maybe medium to hard, it's a 7 out of 10. I don't know, maybe, you know, whose rating system, I don't know. But like, once you start doing some of these things, then it's like, oh wait, that one's actually not very hard because I did this other one that was a lot harder. So it's funny to me how you recalibrate and how each obstacle teaches you something new about your rig.
So how did you break in your new Raptor? Metal Masher.
That one looks bad, but it's easy peasy, man.
One of the things we were both impressed with was how well our rigs were doing. I was surprised to see the Bronco with its stock suspension have decent flex and do an okay job keeping the tires in contact with the rocks. And my Metal Cloak suspension on the 392 was made for Moab. It was incredibly smooth on the slick rock, and I felt in control at each change in trail.
So we're about to come up to a named obstacle. Let me check. I can't remember the name of it. Hey Lance, what's the name of that obstacle that we're coming up to?
Rock Chunker.
Thank you. Okay, it's called Rock Chunker. I mean, that makes me think of, I don't know, chunky rocks. But a named obstacle usually means that it's significant, so I'll be curious to see it.
Rock Trucker is not really what we did here. I think we missed the main obstacle because we were just following the main trail. This is where a guide would have been really nice to have. That said, the weather was threatening to rain on the slick rock behind us, so skipping the obstacle and pushing forward wasn't so bad.
It's a hard right turn.
We were now headed toward Mirror Gulch, which would prove to be the tightest squeeze we'd have all day long. This is another spot where it's more comfortable to have the width of a Jeep to sneak through these narrow chutes than the width of a Bronco. That said, Lance and his Raptor had zero issues, even though he had less room for error. Mirror Gulch gives you some medium-sized stair steps that are slicker than some of the others on the trail, which meant I got some practice bumping up my back tires. And you know what they say, if at first you don't bump it, do it 4 more times. With Finnegan up, it was Lance's turn to practice bumping. And you know what they say, if a Jeep struggles in front of you, you are guaranteed to get it on the first try. The rest of Mirror Gulch is still a tight squeeze, but the steps are smaller and relatively easier to climb on the slick rock. Just as we came to the end of the obstacle, we arrived at what's called Misty's Thumb, a giant stair-step wall that was intimidating enough to make us get out and walk the obstacle first.
You think you need a spot, or you got this?
I think I got this. I don't think it's going to be that complicated.
Roger.
Go straight up.
There are many lines you can take on Misty's Thumb and an advanced obstacle at the top. This is where the Nitto trail grapplers started earning their paycheck. The little ledges of Misty's Thumb can make it harder to keep traction, but those big aggressive lugs on the Nittos had lots of grip as I climbed. Because I was skipping the advanced obstacle, I had a hard left turn about 3/4 of the way up, and after that, a little bit of a tight squeeze to get around the corner to the top.
Oh, great spot, dude. That was a great spot.
Lance and his Bronco took a similar line as I did, and with a little bit of skinny pedal had no issues with the climb.
What an amazing feeling when you're just looking at sky.
As par for the course, the squeezes were tighter for the Bronco, but no scraping, no damage.
You know what's on the other side?
More trail. Best day, dude. Best day.
Yeah, ditto.
We were now approaching the top of the plateau, headed towards a place called Arth's Rim. The trail from Misty's Thumb to Arth's Rim was type 2, small but fun ledges and boulders that made for a great drive with nice views. We were driving along having a great time when all of a sudden, something caught me off guard that changed my experience for the rest of the day.
The road just disappeared underneath me.
I had a full-on anxiety attack because for some reason approaching that ledge gave me vertigo and made me feel like I was about to fall. And it was a long way down. I know that doesn't make sense to everyone, but it was real and it was hard to come back from.
I just found out that I don't like heights. Pulled up to that ledge and I was flying the drone over it, and I just got this like panic attack, like anxiety, because the drop just surprised me. I knew there was a lookout, but I didn't know how far down it was. And whew, man, I just had all kinds of anxiety running through my system. So I'm staying away from ledges for the rest of this trip, even though we're kind of winding our way along this ledge. Just gonna stay, to the other side of the ledge if I can.
Unfortunately, staying away from ledges was not in the cards for this part of the trail. After climbing an initial obstacle, the trail veered toward the edge, and in doing so, frayed my nerves.
I'm just gonna stay away from the ledges.
There's a shelf to your right.
I do not like this.
When our mama sang us to sleep, but now we're stressed out.
Dude, I could definitely use a Xanax at the moment.
Help us spot you?
I don't think so, I just gotta get through it.
Alright, take your time and recenter yourself emotionally here.
For the reminder, I needed it.
Yeah, I said it just so do I.
Sometimes a certain smell will
To make matters worse, the trail led me to a ledge that pointed my front end directly at the cliff. Of all the obstacles we'd done this day, this was the one that gave me a true panic attack.
Close so much to the edge.
Don't go too high, because then you're going to want to be tippy to the edge.
Hey, that was my least favorite part.
no volunteers to co-sign on my fears. I'll sign on the line.
Lance, I am very glad to be going down this side of the mountain.
Alone, gonna change my circumstance.
Yeah, I bet. I was glad to get you off of that cliff.
I need to move right now, 'cause I know it's over. I was born a joker. Nobody's coming for me. Only smoking secondhand. I know it's over. I was born a joker. Nobody's coming for me.
Well, it's about 7:20 in the evening, and we've been on this trail all day long, and I can't think of a better way to spend the day. This has just been fantastic. But we're starting to think about dinner, and it's starting to get dark, and we don't want to be on this trail in the dark. So there's an easy way out, relatively easy way out, that we're taking to try to get back to Moab before it gets too dark, or at least to get off any hard trails before it gets too dark. I think they say budget for 4 to 6 hours to do this trail. I think we've been on it for 9 or something, but we're filming, so it goes a lot slower. But what a great trail. Definitely recommend this one if you've got high clearance and you've got big tires. There are some gnarly obstacles that I think are gnarly, but the views are spectacular. Even the ones that might cause you anxiety on the ledge. Oh my goodness. But after doing this trail, I kind of get why people do this. I kind of get why they make buggies and rock crawlers, because boy, coming out here and doing something really fun and having challenges and problem solving and having these wonderful views, I mean, I get it. It's not actually too far away from overlanding in terms of going out and seeing stuff and solving problems. So if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, I would love to have you as a subscriber. I'm trying to hit 50,000 subscribers and every single one counts. And there's a lot of content like this and overlanding trips and builds, and gear reviews, all kinds of stuff coming really soon. So if you're into that, subscribe, I'd love to have you. Until next time, I'm Will from Adventure to Rome. Thanks for watching.
All right, well, you ready for Hell's Gate?
I don't know if I'm actually ready for it, but we're gonna do it, man.
Oh, this is not my favorite.